It says we're live. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So we can see you guys in the chat. I know, ladies, you probably can't. Oh, no, you
No.
guys are on second devices. Tina, you're on one device?
Yes.
Okay. So we see you guys. Do you see and hear us? I'm seeing. Let's go back up to the top because I know Ms. Connie Jones. Girl, you've been here for a second. We appreciate you.
Hey,
Oh, there's
Connie.
Karen. Oops.
Karen.
And you know what? My favorite spooky movie is Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No, that's one of mine too.
Oof, I remember seeing that in the movie theater. So are they seeing us? There's El Unico and Jean. Oh, everybody's popping in all at once.
Hello,
Yeah, so there is all.
Oh, thank you, Ashlyn.
I'm having a girl crush on Midge. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
She's got fabulous style.
Thank you.
She's on point. I mean, is anybody really surprised though? I mean, come on. I'm seeing a lot of new names, so I'm assuming, Midge, I'm hopefully highlighting a lot of your viewers. There is Katie. Hello. Oh,
Katie, I have to message you. I bought some stuff today, some records today, some Voco, those little children's records. I'll message you about them later, girl.
Yeah, Katie, I'm waiting for my embalming fluid bottle, please.
Oh my God.
Stacy's in Peculiar, Missouri. Hi, Stacy. That's in my neck of the woods.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for being here,
Hi,
Sarah.
Sarah.
We appreciate it.
Yay.
All right, everyone. So welcome to the whatever installment of Vintage Rescue Squad.
You know what? We lost count.
You know what I mean? When you have a good time, that happens, right?
Yeah.
So tonight is our Spooktacular episode of Vintage Rescue Squad. So without further ado, we're going to go around. We're going to introduce ourselves because we've got a lot of new viewers for everybody up here. So we want to take the time for you guys to get to know us a little bit. So Midge, you want to start it off?
Sure. So hi, everyone. I am Midge Munster, and my tagline is that I do all things campy, kooky, glamorous, and spooky. I do what I call spooky Palm Springs vibes. As you can kind of see behind me, I'm very mid-century. I do a lot of vintage reproduction style and reproduction. I'm not as true vintage all the time, and part of what I do is help people find vintage inspired decorations and things when they can't always find vintage. And yeah, I have a YouTube channel and we do a lot of fun stuff over there. And if you're one of my glamour ghouls and you're over here tonight, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited to see some of you in the chat.
Thank you, Midge. And below Midge, we have Misty.
Yes. Yes, I am Misty, the Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter. I know it's a lot to say, but I have a YouTube channel as well under the same name. And I sell on eBay and I sell vintage on my live sales here on YouTube. So, and I do reselling content and vintage content. So come and follow me if you're not already.
And next to Misty, we have A Vision and Vintage Co., otherwise known as Tina.
Yeah.
Hello. I have a YouTube channel also, and I basically deal in what I call uncommon vintage and antiques. So if it's odd or unusual, then that's what I deal with. That's what I go for. And I'm starting to get my crowd together here. So I'm hoping to grow my channel a little bit bigger. So if you're not already subscribed, please do so if you like weird stuff.
Thumbs up, guys. That's right. Absolutely. And I'm Michael Todd, and I am The.Cult.Of.Vintage. I obviously have a YouTube channel because that's where we're all at tonight.
Yeah.
Imagine that. But I do vintage buying for resale, vintage tours, antique mall tours, thrift stores, and I buy it all. It doesn't matter what it is, just so long as it's vintage or antique. Now, I am down specifically, especially with Halloween. I think that's going to be a big topic of conversation this evening. Is that everybody that is in the vintage community, and we all love vintage, how difficult is it to find quote unquote true vintage Halloween? It is so incredibly difficult. And when you do find it, the price tag is insane.
Yep.
So enter in Miss Midge Munster with
Say it 5 times fast.
Oh my word. Right.
Yes.
I won't. We'll pretend that I did. So as Midge said, she does focus a lot on not necessarily quote unquote true vintage, but vintage inspired and reproduction. And I really think that, hello everybody again. But I do think that it is a really good way, especially around Halloween, or if you like the Macabre, if you like the Curiosities, Tina can certainly speak to that. How difficult even finding some of those pieces are, whether it be for collection, whether it be for resale. And again, when you find the strange, the unusual, the curiosities, they do have a tendency to have a rather high price tag on them. So how is it that we can get that aesthetic if we're not finding it, or if we are finding it, we just simply can't afford those things? I mean, what do you guys think? Midge, why don't you take it up, girl? Because can we please talk about the skeleton behind you?
Yes. Yeah, so this is Barnabas. This is my little skele lamp. He's a cutie. This piece and the the spider web breeze block were made. We made these for my studio, and yeah, they're just my favorite things. I don't think a single video goes by. It doesn't matter if I put it in the description. It doesn't matter if I say it in the video. The first 12 comments are like, "Where did you get that lamp?"
Did you make it?
Yes. Yeah. So it's actually not too hard. It's just a plastic store skeleton, painted blue, painted teal. And then it's got a little stand that is built with a clip here, and a clip up here to hold him upright. And a wire run through the spinal column into a lamp thing up here. And then he works.
Wow. I love that.
It's fantastic. The creativity, but the color that you decided to go with it. Mm-hmm. Again, it's that camp, but it's that mid-century. It's so good.
I wanted this to feel like I was on a vacation, but it was spooky. I wanted to feel like I was on a beach in a spooky way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your style reminds me of kind of Scooby-Doo.
Yes. Yeah. I literally, when I get my hair colored, I tell her I want to look like Daphne walked out of the television.
Yeah,
so
I love Scooby-Doo. Your style reminds me of Scooby-Doo.
Yay! That's what before we all got.
Well, I was gonna say it's kind of spooky, but yet it's also fun and colorful and happy. Spooky and creepy doesn't have to be like blood and skeleton, creepy skeletons. It can be fun.
I'm definitely a pastel goth. I'm
inviting. Yeah, it doesn't have to be full goth. It can be colorful and happy and fun.
I think I found a really cool niche of people that meet me somewhere in the realm of mid-century and spooky. I don't know how I found this amazing little pod of people, but I'm very happy that I did.
Mm-hmm. Well, I said she's for me, it's giving me full John Waters vibes. I live for it.
I was literally about to bring up that before everyone got in here, you called me a John Waters fantasy or whatever.
She's living it. I mean, she said, divine who? I don't know her. I've got my life here, honey. Like, it's it. Like,
Yeah.
those colors, that camp. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be black and red. You know, those are very traditional. And the orange, I think we often think of those. Silvers, they're really popular. It can be bright and colorful and fun. And in a way, it very much is cheerful.
Crybaby campy.
Yeah,
Crybaby.
crybaby.
That's the one. Yes.
Yes.
I
And
love
also,
that.
I wanted to, I wonder if I can pull them up without like ruining everything. I have two bullet planters down here that are made out of like jack-o'-lantern heads but they're painted bright colors, and like I have a big coffin mirror over here. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
We need a tour. We need a tour sometime. Now I don't want to put you on the spot, because if you asked me to give you a tour of my house right now, I would die.
It's coming to the channel in the next like week or two. So go subscribe to Midge Munster. You can get a full spooky office tour.
There you go. And then kind of like on the other end of the spectrum, now, Tina, you prefer more of the oddities and the curiosities. So would you consider your vibe a little bit, like you have an appreciation for the bright and the colorful and the fun, but your personal aesthetic and vibe is a little bit on the darker?
Tina's a fun girl. Tina will send me a little fun little puppy and kitty cat things. Tina is fun and happy-go-lucky as well. She isn't all dark and mysterious. Tina's a fun and puppy and kitty cat girl.
Well, you're breaking up my whole mojo I got going on here.
She's got an image,
people aren't gonna think of me that way anymore, Misty. Damn it!
I'm sorry. It's
my friend.
You're lovely. You're a lovely person.
Yeah, I have a darker vibe. Yeah, I mean, I love kind of goofy stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like this. Can you see him?
That's
cool. Okay, this way.
Him's eating a bird.
Yeah, I like goofy stuff like this, but at the same time, you know, I'm all about getting some funeral stuff, you know. So, but I like the real deep, dark, moody colors. So,
Tina, something you and I have in common, because I've creeped your Instagram many times, is that you and I are both into weird old like circus paraphernalia.
Oh, I love that.
I am like a total slut for old circus stuff. I love it. I love freak show anything. Like I love it.
Now the freak show stuff, I just don't like clowns, but all the other stuff is fine. Give me a creepy carny, any of that kind of stuff, but
not a clown though.
No.
I'm really glad I didn't bring my vintage style clown doll for show and tell, and now I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, see, Tina, I got your message. I did. That was not
good.
very nice.
Was it the Pennywise coming out of the closet?
Yes.
But I've learned to expect these things now. So I'm just I'm not going to get too close to my phone, because I know something's going to pump out at me.
Well, it's National Clown or International Clown Week. All week this week, starting today for the whole week. So girlfriend, be expecting some good posts. And I'm going to be private messaging you. So just plan on getting some creepy clowns.
Oh no. It's going to be a week from hell.
Yeah.
Oh, Tina.
Yeah, I like the dark colors myself too. I don't know. I kind of like both.
Yeah.
You know, that's the weird thing. Like, I'm like, okay, let's do like black, and then let's like the teal of Barnabas. Do you know what I mean? Like, I love the dichotomy of the dark and the light. I don't know, something about that for me, that works for me.
That's a complaint I have a little bit about like Instagram culture, is that I think we've gotten very into the aesthetic, right? Like that you have to kind of have one aesthetic. And like, I do a very like kitschy living room, and then I'll do a very like dark decor dining room with like skeletons and, very gothic look. Like, I think you can appreciate multiple things and have multiple things going. You don't like have to fit a mold of like, I'm a kitschy pinup girl and I only do this. We can have multiple interests, and that's okay.
And I think like
Well,
in your bedroom, to have it kind of dark and I don't want to say dark and seedy. I know, but
I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing.
There's a password to get into my dining room.
I love that.
Well, it's funny that she says that though, because my bedroom is stark white.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've got a chippy old like a fence, a chippy old fence is my headboard. I've got ruffled sheer white curtains. I have salvaged corbels.
Really?
Yeah, and nobody would ever think in the world,
Tina, that's kind of farmhouse. Tina's kind of farmhouse.
It's like an elegant chippy farmhouse thing, I still have a hand coming out of the wall holding my reading glasses, but
you gotta throw it in there somehow.
Yeah, but if you would look at the rest of my house and you would go in my bedroom, you have to wear sunglasses. You would be blinded by it.
Really? See,
I would never guess that.
I'm earthy tones. I'm not in the bedroom. Yeah.
No, I've got color. I mean, I've got
shabby kitsch. I'm for that.
Oh, shabby.
Sarah, I just saw Sarah said something about like her house was some like gothic, shabby chic vintage mess or something. That made me laugh.
Whatever works for you. Really?
Kitschy, shabby chic gothic mess. That's funny.
Yeah, it's true. It's whatever works for you. And I think that a lot of us are very eclectic in a lot of different things. Like I like the kitschy things, but I like doll heads and naked doll. It sounds so wrong when I say I like naked babies, but
I knew it too much.
You know what I mean? But but you can add those little
naked babies.
Yes, little naked
cupies. Is that a Cupid doll?
Cupies are supposed to be naked.
Oh, hi Cupid.
There you go. I've got Cupid shoved in the devil head next to a pose doll. Why not?
Right. You can add those little accents, in wherever, and it's a beauty. I mean, I know people like Michael, I think maybe somewhat considers himself a little bit of a minimalist, kind of. Do you, Michael? Tiny.
No.
You don't like a lot of clutter.
No, that is very true. Like where I have my displays are my displays. And I will like cram my stuff onto like shelving units, but otherwise I don't want anything else. Like if that makes sense. Like I love everything, but I feel closed in on if there's too much going on for me.
That's fair.
Well,
I'm just realizing I thought there was something like dangling from your laptop or something, and I'm realizing now that it's probably a Kit Kat clock tail or something.
Yes, that's the dangling fallacy that's hanging above his shoulder every time.
It's a Kit Kat. I've got mine over here.
Yeah, there he is.
That is actually something, speaking of spooky, that freaks my husband out so much. He hates the Kit Kat clock.
Really?
And we had it hanging in our old place, and like I didn't change the batteries or anything for like 2 or 3 years, and it would stop and then it would start going every once in a while. So we say there's a ghost in the Kit Kat clock, which I'm okay with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not all ghosts. I mean, I have a ghost that lives in the shop, and he's very friendly.
Oh yeah, ghosts are great.
Yeah, Mr. Webb. He is my buddy. He just comes in to make sure. He just checks in every once in a while. I have a couple clocks that don't have any insides to them, but they ring. They ding-a-ling-ling. It's just him checking in.
Just gotta come check out the clocks.
He's making sure we're taking care of the place, just checking in from time to time.
So one thing I do just want to add really quick though, if anybody does have any questions in the chat, please remember that this isn't while we are the ones that are on camera. You guys are part of this conversation.
Yep.
And I am watching it. So if you guys have questions, what I'm asking is if you could just put them in caps, that way I can, like, I'm triggered to see that, and we'll throw them up there and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. So again, we're all here for everybody. This is just one, we just happen to be on the camera.
Yeah, you
That's
guys,
the only difference.
yeah, feel free to talk amongst yourself and answer the questions. If someone asks a question, put your answers down in the chat as well. It's just fully interactive. Like Michael said, we're here, but we're all here. You included in the chat as well.
We're just facilitating.
Right.
Exactly. That's it. And before I forget this, the other day, Tina, I thought of you. We were yard sailing in a place called Elamsport. It's like 40 minutes from here, but I was with my friend. So he was driving. And if you know me, then you know that I can't sit in a car very long without having to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I
know
every time I'm like, I gotta go. So I was like, just pull over. We're in the middle of the woods. I'm a guy. It's like, whatever. And I like looked down and I was like, is he gonna freak out of me if I try to do this? Which he probably would have. But there was like a full like jawbone to a deer with the teeth. The top skull was on it. Like it was there. Like it had completely decomposed. And I was like, I wonder if I get this.
That's Tina. That
I love
And you
bones.
left it there?
No, but I was with my friend. It was his car. And then I was like, I don't really have because for me, and I know that some of you might be surprised by this, but like that kind of germ doesn't bother me because it's like animal. It's like people germs gross me out. But I would have got and put it in my trunk. But then I was with him and I was like, but I had to share that with you. I did think of you Friday morning at about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Is that you think of me when you find roadkill.
Well, yeah. I mean,
in
why
a good
not?
way, Tina. In a good way.
Not when you see a rainbow, but when you see a dead deer.
Well, yeah, because I was like, I bet Tina could do something with that. Like, that was my first, like, I was like, Tina could make something with this. And I'm just
Well,
like,
she would.
well, that's the thing. And you don't normally find them completely, like, it was completely decomposed. It was just full bone. And I was just like, like, you would have to wash it or whatever but I
True
was like,
story, Michael, is my son, well, both of my sons and their friend, probably 2 months ago, we went on their property and they were target shooting. So we went back in the wood line and like behind the cow pasture, right? There was 2 full cow skeletons, fully decomposed, just the bones left. What did I do? Ran home, got 2 duffel bags, brought them back home, scrubbed them clean, bleached them, peroxided them, and I am selling them in my Etsy shop.
How much
that
now?
stuff
How
is
much?
expensive.
How much what's a good old cow head going for these days on Etsy?
$100.
Really?
Yes.
Well, besides like your time in cleaning it and stuff, that's 100% profit. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, there's people out there that go dumpster diving and resell stuff. So I just got mine. I just picked from the woods, from nature.
I don't see a thing wrong
That
with it.
skeeves me out. Like going into a dumpster because again, it's like human. Like that skeeves me out. Like I wouldn't do that. But like the animal bones, I would be okay with.
He said, "Give me a deer head," and that is a-okay.
I'm like, I've been in a couple dumpsters.
Midge, I might use that as my new tagline. Give me a deer head and I'll be A-okay.
Mhm.
Merch. Tina, it's
Just a little.
Tina's merch. Tina, you need merch that says that. Give me a deer head and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So guys, I do see your questions coming in. I'm going to start here with Sammy Bo Bammy. What's your favorite item that you have collected? One? What about, let's do this. We're going to tie Sammy's question in, I think, with, well, can we tie it in with Katie's question at the same time? What's the coolest and most unusual piece you have
Most
found
recently.
recently? Do we have a favorite item you have collected?
Are we sticking spooky, or are we doing just any vintage piece?
I think just anything.
Live your life, whatever it is.
Mine is, it's actually, I wish I could get it. It's down here, but it's big. I found a 1962 Lady Sunbeam, like collapsible hair dryer. Like it's a dome dryer, and it's bright teal. It's super cute, and it still works. I use it to this day to set my hair, and I think I found it for like $30 or something really cheap. I love it. It's so cute.
And it's good decor too, because it's that.
Yeah, and I have it like set out on my little shelving unit here, because it's the same color as my lamp. So.
And how old are those things? Like what year-ish, around-ish?
That one is a 62.
But see, isn't it nice that they actually used to make stuff that would last?
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Still works great.
There you go.
We've got thick hair, so it's good to have something that'll dry my rollers before work.
Oh, I wish I had that problem.
You could get just like a little cap that has rollers glued to it, so it looks like you have.
Girl, this is my cap. This is my hair right here.
I think mine. I have found a paper mache pumpkin and a 1950s lithograph pumpkin candle holder, well, it's for a candle, but it's like the same size as the paper mache pumpkin, only it's a lithograph. I found it in somebody's trash. I had actually gone to their house, and they wanted me to look through some of the stuff that they had. Their mother had passed away, and they had to get rid of all the stuff, and they had everything laid out. And I didn't want what they had laid out. I kept seeing things in the trash. And so I asked if I could just look through the trash, and they were like, yeah. And I pulled out all kinds of things, and a bunch of ephemera and stuff. And he just thought it was a bunch of trash. And my paper mache pumpkin, and apparently it was his when he was little, and he just thought, he's just gonna toss it out. And I'm like, oh no, these are really good. So that's probably my thing.
That's a score.
Those two things.
What about you, Tina?
My most favorite thing that I have is my 6-foot Egyptian sarcophagus.
Was that all?
Yeah.
Is it haunted?
No.
Oh. Well, but still cool though.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. It will be haunted when I pass away, and then I get buried in it.
You're gonna be buried in it?
I'm gonna die. I told my husband, just take the shelving out when I die and throw me inside. Because, they'll save money on a coffin, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Do you know that you can be cremated and you can have your remains put in a firework?
Oh, that feels very much like my energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Firework. And everyone
I'm
can be
kind
like,
of down with
oh,
that.
there she is.
My most recent favorite find was this.
Ooh. Okay, Tiger's here. Tiger.
Oh, is that German?
It's actually Polish.
Oh, me dolce or Nadine.
You nailed it, Michael. That was it.
How'd you know?
Yeah,
I didn't know you spoke Polish. That's amazing.
You just have to sound it out, guys. Just sound it out.
It's basically warning that it's an electrical device and that, you could possibly get electrocuted. But I
Makes
just
sense.
found that over the weekend.
Yeah, you found that in a local antique, or was it a flea market?
They call it an antique market, but it's a little bit of everything. It's in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, is where I went.
Okay.
It was fun. It was fun. It was kind of like the show where I met up with George. Pretty similar. That one was in Kentucky.
I think that the Lawrenceburg, Tina, I think they have one once a month, don't they? Is it like the either the first or the last Sunday of every month? Saturday and Sunday?
Well, it was on Sunday, so it was the first.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're right. It's probably the first Sunday of every month.
We'll have to meet up there sometime, Tina. That would be fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
All right, guys. And Katie has, and I mean, are we gonna, because I kind of actually, what's the coolest and most unusual piece you have found recently? I actually this is something, I'm going to show you guys this. I just found it today, and it's literally right here. I'm curious to see what you guys think of it. Now, I did get this at the Goodwill. I don't know how, but it is, I'm assuming it's like an anniversary piece, but do you see, like, here's Joseph, there is Mary, but then it's got these flowers in it, and it's hand painted over here. The glass is, what is this when it's shaped like that?
Concave?
Concave? Convex?
Concave or convex? I don't ever remember.
Vexed, yeah.
Convex. It's so weird. And I'm like, is this an anniversary gift that you would give somebody?
But why would you give somebody that as an anniversary gift?
I don't, but it's silver, right? The 25th anniversary is silver, and it's totally a wall hanging. There's the hanger on it. It's so odd.
It's bizarre, but cool, but bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, do I take off the back and redo the backing to make it appeal to more people and like leave the religious icons in here with like the flowers? I'm really debating on that.
At first, I thought it might have been a funeral piece, but I don't think that would be the 25.
You've been dead for 25 years. We're still thinking of you.
I hope so.
That's my most unusual thing that I found.
That's fascinating.
Well, I have found, and Tina yelled at me when I didn't buy it. This was a couple of years ago. It was a tray that on the inside it was all human hair and butterflies. Do you remember that, Tina? I said, "Oh, I found this thing," and she's like, "You didn't get it?" And I went back and it was gone because I put it
obviously because it was good and you just didn't realize it.
Well, and I had it in my video too. I showed it in the video, and that's kind of the kiss of death. Sometimes if you create content and you say where you're at and you put it in a video and people watch your videos and then they go buy it. Then you go back to get it and you're like, oh, rats.
Yeah.
That's like the curse of the Halloween hunting YouTubers too, is that we've like generated this awesome community and this hype, but now all the stuff flies off the shelves in like June.
Well, I had seen even someone in the comment was talking about even at like TJ Maxx and stuff. It's gone. Like they put it out and it's gone.
Yep.
Well, that's a good question then, because Thrift or Not Order is asking, where is it that you shop for your creepy items? I mean, Midge, do you have like, and Tina too, do you guys have like go-to places? Like your like solids, you're like, man, I'm in a crunch and I need X, Y, or Z. I'm gonna go here because you're old faithful, if you will.
I have a route. I have a route that I do, and I have a schedule every year of like, I do this in this month, this in this month, because based on when places like release stuff. But I've been really excited to see, I'll tell you what. So if you're looking for things that look really nice, like well made and look like a vintage piece, but you're not finding true vintage out in the wild. It's called Christmas Traditions online, but they sell a lot of folk art. Bethany Lowe, Joanna Parker, and that is a place where if I'm looking for something really specific, I will go on there and look, because they, like, if I'm like, I need a paper mache cat head for something, like, you're gonna find it there. Like, that's a very cool, like, place to look for things that look very specific, if that makes sense. Like, they look handcrafted. It's very folk arty, very and it's that old, like when Halloween was, even the cute stuff was creepy. It's that vibe, which I love. I love when it's like supposed to be like a little kid or something, but it looks just like slightly disturbing for some reason.
It reminds me of Christmas blended, or not Christmas, let's just say circus blended with Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, like very Harlequin, pumpkin, clown, child.
Yeah, with
weird.
The party hats and
yeah, I've got one down here. This little guy is very like, he's got a little ruff on and like a party hat, but he's a clown, like a pumpkin, but a clown. But I don't know. I love this.
I don't mind him because he looks like he's got a witch's hat on.
So yeah, he's a little bit.
He's a
witch,
a little bit of a witch. Clown.
Yeah, he's a cutie.
I love witch things. Witch and ghosts are the things that I really like.
Ghosts are that's where my like sweet spot is. I love ghosts and I love jack-o'-lanterns.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say too, it'll be in tomorrow's video, but I had recently found, and I had one and I paid up for it because I saw it last year and I had to have it. And I love vintage advertising.
I do too.
So it's called No Moth, and it's black and orange, and it's to kill moths. So it had like this fumes, and it had all these holes in it, and you could just like put it up, and it would prevent moths and stuff from, coming into your closets or your trunks and eating all of your wool clothes. But I had recently went to an antique mall and found 4 or 5 different of those no moth, but they're orange and I found one no moth, and then I found some green and black ones that say that they're Expello, and they have this really cool Art Deco font and all these really cool Art Deco lines. But I like putting those kinds of things in with decor, and people will make them into assemblages and stuff. But it's funny because who would have thought that, 50 years ago, someone like would come in from a time machine and be like, why does this girl have moth killer all up on her shelves? She's weird. But
she's decorating with insecticide, really.
Yeah, she must have a really bad moth problem because she's got it everywhere. But yeah, those kinds of things. And I think, and Tina does this a lot too, and I think that that's really cool, is taking some non-traditional things and turning them into something that you can use in your decor.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and I think that was, sorry, Beth, because Sarah was just saying, the chat is like staying still, and then everybody's coming through at once, so I do apologize. But that was, and you know what, Sarah, that's kind of like the impetus of this conversation, is that, and just what Misty was saying, is that sometimes, if we're setting up our display, especially when we're talking about Halloween, and I was just telling this to Misty earlier, it's like you can find Christmas every day of the year and it be true vintage Christmas. That never seems to be the problem. Mm-hmm. But Halloween, whether they didn't make a lot of it, whether it just, I don't know, if people just thought it was much more disposable because the holiday didn't play as much of a cultural significance as it does today.
I think that's a lot of the reason.
You think that's a lot?
Yeah.
I think Halloween's always been a little bit
on the fringe,
overshadowed by like the Christmas Mecca, like that, especially because not that they're close, but they're not that far apart either. Like it's the last thing right before you head into like holiday season with Thanksgiving and everything. Like, I think there was a lot, and I think too, just religion and people, being wary of having certain things in their homes, and like looking a certain way when they decorate a lot or whatever. I think there was a lot of there's a lot of taboo to being really into Halloween for a long time. I mean, even now, I've got neighbors that are like, when I walk down the street, like it which is so silly. Like, it's literally celebrating the most natural thing that we all do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're right. I think a lot of it was a kind of a taboo sort of thing. And it was a very short-lived. Like, I'm like, okay, it's September, time to decorate for Halloween.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, back in the day, you know, it was like, okay, we're going to decorate the week before, you know, or 2 days before. You know, now it's like, I want, you know, I mean, a lot of people will keep their Halloween decorations out all year round. And have beautiful collections. But yeah, I think it was kind of a taboo. I think that's some of the reason.
I have a neighbor who just moved in this year, and I haven't told you guys this, but there is like a life-size Freddy Krueger animatronic outside the house year round, and I'm like, okay.
Your house?
Not my house. No, the neighbor. They're like 2 houses down or up, I guess. Oh yeah. I mean, they painted the house. The house is green with purple trim.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's green and red stripes.
Red stripe has a big hat on top.
Freddy Krueger's chilling out on the front. I mean, they have a covered front porch, so he's not getting like the weather, the elements are not getting on him, but he chills out there all year round. Yeah.
This is like the only cool thing about me is that my family is like Nightmare on Elm Street royalty. My uncle is Mark Patton, who played Jesse in Nightmare on Elm Street 2, the main character in that film. And so I was like raised on that franchise, and any Freddy stuff, I'm like, I love it so much.
Really? Wow.
That's awesome.
When I was like younger, I got to wear like the actual claw from the movie and stuff.
Oh my gosh. That was my, you know, me and my girlfriends when we were teenagers. Yeah. I mean, we would go to the video store and we would rent creepy movies, pizza, popcorn, and that was our night, you know, and a lot of it, the biggest one was, you know, Freddy Krueger.
See,
the first I saw was Nightmare on Elm Street. Was the first horror movie that I saw.
I am going to probably be in the minority. Well, maybe not though. I do not like scary movies. I'm going to say because of my anxiety. I will pee my pants. Like I know I seriously will. Like I can go to an actual haunted house, no problem. But going to a fake haunted house, I will lose my mind. Like I will punch somebody. I will pee.
Yes. Okay. I thought you meant like, that's what I thought you meant by go to a haunted house. I thought you were saying you couldn't watch a scary movie, but you could go to a haunted house, like a fake haunted house. I was like, hell no. Like,
no, I can't do either. I think
my punch reflex is too strong. My automatic like response to being afraid is like to kill, basically.
Yes.
Listen, there is one in Indianapolis a friend of mine went to, and I don't know how I probably would have died. I would have had a heart attack and died. Apparently, they chase you through this field, and I don't know how no one has gotten hurt, but they had graves dug. And like you just be running, people be chasing you, and then you'd fall in a grave. I would die.
They have experiences where that like you literally pay to basically get like kidnapped, and they like throw you in a van and like leave you in the woods and shit. I'm like,
you have to sign all
paying to have that experience?
You have to sign all these consent forms.
Yeah. And they're like, if you die, oops, like no.
Yeah, no. I can't do that. And like they had one, it was like the whole wall was like a rubber wall, like a latex wall, and you'd be walking through. People would bite you through the latex.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, can't do it.
I have a vintage-ish hunting-related question that is kind of tying into this somehow. I don't know where it came from in my brain, but How do you all feel about like finding, and not like the Hasbro ones, like legitimate? Have you ever found a Ouija board or like a calling board out in the wild? And if so, did you feel comfortable buying it?
I found one and I bought it, but it
That
did
doesn't
not
surprise
come
me.
in. It didn't come in my house. It stayed in my car until it was sold, and then I packaged it and shipped it off. So it lived in my car.
A healthy fear. We like to see it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I personally don't want them in my home. My best friend pulled one out, a really cool one. It was wood. I mean, it looked like
See now.
and nobody wanted it. Like nobody in the bins wanted it. And Cindy was like, "Well, this is cool. I'm gonna take it home." And she like made it into a table, and it's in her house. She like put legs on it and stuff, and it's in her house for for the holidays.
She's
But
braver than I am.
yeah, I can't. That was one scary movie that I had seen. There was a movie about the Ouija board. Wasn't it called Ouija?
I think it's called Ouija, yeah.
That was the one movie that I had seen, and I'm like, nope.
I have a healthy fear of things latching.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
superstitious, but I also am.
I did get from Midge. Her name is Pamela. She's a vintage reseller here on YouTube. But Tina, Missy, you know Pamela. But I did get these witch reading cards. I mean, they're kind of legit for real. Like I did buy them and I was fine with those. But like a Ouija board, because like that is like fortune telling kind of stuff.
Right.
Whereas like the Ouija board is like communicating kind of stuff. Like no.
Summoning.
No.
Yeah,
My dog.
I have vintage tarot cards that I love.
Yeah. I
Did
would
you
be okay
cleanse
with the
those?
tarot.
Did I what?
Did you cleanse them?
No, but
Misty!
I haven't had them very long, but I'm getting ready to do a saging at the shop just because I'm getting ready to do this pop-up shop and I'm under a lot of stress and angst and anger and everything. So I'm wanting to do a cleansing, but as I've been reading about it, talking about, because I want to make sure I'm doing it properly. I don't want to do it the wrong way. But like the smoke, like if it goes up, then the bad energy is going up. But if it like lingers around, then that's not good.
You gotta open a window and let that shit
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
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 No, I do not. Does anybody own a tarot board or a Ouija board?
No.
Do you?
I mean, I'm a practicing witch, so
Really?
Okay.
yeah.
I got questions for you, girl.
Hit me on Instagram anytime. So I'll give you some cleansing recipes. I'll give you some.
I need some.
We're gonna cleanse that deck before you use it. I can tell you that. You don't go get no spirits up in your house.
It's packed in it'll be coming down in a month when I get my Halloween stuff down.
Okay.
All right. Now there was a question earlier, and I don't know if it got cut off, or I know sometimes when I'm typing and then I'll hit space, I think I'm hitting space and I hit enter. But somebody I think was along the lines of the question being, and I'm gonna have to paraphrase here, but with vintage Halloween being so hard to find, I mean, do you guys consider yourselves purist? I know, Mitch, I know your answer, but like, do you, and what do you guys think about like in the chat? Do you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to Halloween. Are we like being purists out there? And if it's not vintage, I don't want anything to do with it. Or are we down with like vintage inspired and reproduction and repurposing and creating something in the vein of that feel, that era?
I will say I think a lot of companies are jumping on board with the vintage aesthetic. Like I think Michaels has done it for years, right? And but the more I'm seeing so much more of it the last like 3 years than I mean, At Home did an entire mid-century line last year. They had like a putz house that looked like a little butterfly roof house. And like, I mean, I told Michael earlier, Spirit is doing like an entire vintage line this year. They're doing like these like little dolls, and they've got like all these really awesome like masks and stuff.
That's from Spirit of Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hold on. Wait. You ready?
Dolls. Did I
Are you
have
ready?
a little
What's up,
Frankie
Liz?
doll?
Hold on. Wait.
Let's see. Look, let's see what I wrote.
Oh my gosh.
I'm making a list right now.
I
I
wrote that
want-
down, girl. I wrote it down. Spirit vintage line.
They've got this one, and they've got a clown doll for Misty.
No.
And yeah, hold on. I'm gonna show them. I brought things for show and tell. I didn't know what kind of stream this was, so I
Oh
brought
no, we
things.
like show and tell.
So I showed that Frankie mask. And then we've got
Spooktacular.
and a Moomy.
I'm all about the Universal monsters.
I am
Yes,
too.
me
And then
too.
we got Wolfman.
Is there Frankenstein?
Yeah, that was. Let me grab it.
That
Oh,
was just it.
That's one. This one's my fave, I think.
yeah, mine too.
And then they've got a couple like hangy pieces that are spooky. They're vintage looking, like adjacent. But they did a couple of these masks last year, and then this year they've like expanded it a little bit more. And I'm hoping, I've communicated with them very heavily that people want it. So I'm hoping they'll like get licensing with Universal and do even more stuff, because
Oh, that'd be great.
it's so cool.
Yeah, Junebug Vintage was like the Lagoon Monster, because that's like a close second to mine. I like the Lagoon
I
Monster.
love him. Creature's my boo. I've got a
Yeah,
couple,
he's like so misunderstood, I think.
I've got some cute. This is gonna turn into Midge showing you too many things.
We're here for it.
I'm up for that.
Here's my little
Aw.
creature claws that I'm
Aw.
sitting on my desk over here.
Those would make a good like shelf for your glasses in the bedroom, Tina.
You could
Yeah.
mix your salad with those guys too.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Scare your meat, like do a
Yeah.
bear claw situation.
Yeah.
Pulled pork.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
You could pick your nose.
Oh, it might hurt yourself though. Might go in a little too deep with those.
Pick your brain.
Yeah, pinch your brain. Hi, Linda. Linda said that she watched our videos today, Michael, and she loved them.
Well, thank you,
Thank you,
Linda. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, I guess like at the end of the day. Oh, Tina did something before I forget. Somebody asked how your cicada hunting was going this year. Were you able to find more, or just like the same?
I got a whole canning jar full of them.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
What do you do with them?
Just because.
Okay.
I'm all into the natural, the nature kind of thing. I mean, I love rocks and minerals and pine cones and feathers and all that type of thing too. So anything like that, I like that type of stuff too. So, but you know, the cicada wings are really neat on like little frozen Charlottes to make them into fairies.
Oh.
Oh, I have a whole shelf full of frozen Charlottes that need wings, Tina.
Well, yeah.
Well, she's
But I
got
don't
a
eat
jar. so-
Cicadas. There was a girl on my Facebook feed that they kept eating the cicadas,
Ew.
Good protein.
frying them and eating them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
It's the same
To
as
each his
crickets.
own.
Nancy's asking. I mean, has anybody? I don't think that I have. Not to my knowledge.
Have any of you bought a product that had something? No. I
Yes.
have not.
I haven't, but my family definitely bought a doll that had vibes, and I made them get rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of doll?
Huh?
What kind of doll?
Just like it was like an old kind of rag body with the hard arm, kind of porcelain head situation.
Ooh,
Michael,
sounds fun.
you see
It had
Pat's
vibes.
comment, Pat Robinson?
What? I don't, but Tina, what did you said yes. I'll look for Pat's comment.
Well, she
Tina,
just
what
said
did you get?
no drinks from Tina tonight.
No drinks
No,
from Tina tonight.
Michael didn't let me know in advance.
I can't
No,
deal.
it was a doll. It was a doll. It had really bad vibes. I mean, I buy tons of dolls, and the cracklier, the better. I mean, I love them when they have all that character, and I don't care if they're missing an arm or a leg or whatever. But, yeah, all the dolls that have passed through here, I haven't had any trouble with any of them. But this one doll, I don't know anything, and I don't claim to know anything about paranormal or anything. I'm really into that kind of stuff. I love watching things like that. But someone that was really sensitive towards that type of stuff told me that there was a doll. That doll was owned by a little girl that was died, killed, murdered, whatever. And all they could see was the little girl in a field and the doll. So that girl was gone. I got rid of that doll.
It's just
I think
bad
that's why
energy.
there's like a lot of like haunted dolls too, is because like children's energy is very lingering, and most of the time those are things that were children's items. And so if they have a negative experience, a trauma or a death, and the doll was theirs, that like that energy is much more potent than if it were like an adult person. Like it's a much fresher energy, and it stays. Ugh,
Yeah, and I fully disclosed, the information. I said, do what you want with it. I don't know if this is legitimate or not. And they still wanted the doll, so more power to you.
Girl, you could have thrown that up
like
on
niche
eBay.
market.
Do what, Midge?
There's a whole market for like
Yeah.
people looking to buy haunted things.
I know. Now, Tina, you sell solely on Etsy, is that correct?
Yeah, my shop's on Etsy. I mean, there's a few instances where I've listed stuff on eBay, but that's just because it doesn't fit my whole shop vibe I got going on.
Okay.
But yeah, 100% Etsy.
See, I'm saying, but if you get you that just, and that's what Midge was saying, like you get you those haunted things, put it up on eBay and let people bid on that, because people go ham, especially if it's legit.
Yeah, but I honestly think, if they're saying that, you're going to want to do a little bit more research, because there are a lot of people out there that just want to, make a buck.
Yeah, that is true. But you're not one of those people.
No.
Well, no. Well, I mean, yeah, but no. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I'm not going to lie to do it, if that's what I'm trying to say.
I hear you. Now, Tina, Katie is asking, do you do actual taxidermy, or do you collect it?
I'm not rich enough to collect taxidermy. It is expensive. I'm starting to dabble in it now. I have a bird, and I have a bunny. And I have a few little miceys. But as far as the bigger pieces, I think maybe next year's Oddities and Curiosities Expo, I might try to get me a fox. But yeah, I mean, I don't really, it's an expensive hobby. And taxidermy is an art form. I mean, I have a few friends that are taxidermists, and there is a lot of, I mean, you have to truly be an artist to do that.
Yeah, people go to school for that, though, don't they?
Yeah, but I mean, if you've ever seen somebody that doesn't know how to do taxidermy, I mean, it can be really jacked up. A squirrel that looks like this, So you really have to know what you're doing. Yeah, I've seen some pretty bad pieces.
Was it the Fijian mermaid that was like sewn together?
Yeah, no, I mean, they really, I mean,
Not the
there's so
good
many
ones, though.
reproductions of the Fiji mermaid. But yeah, that was one of those things years ago that they put together and they showed it and they made all kinds of money off of it, And it was just a clever person out there that, put two and two together and,
Literally.
yeah.
I saw someone in the chat, Stacy, brought up the old Westport Antique Mall, and I wanted to ask if she was talking about Westport Flea, because that's actually, so she asked if I sell locally, which I don't sell any like antique items. I have a dress shop here, but specifically Westport Flea is where Bob Bordella used to sell, who was the Kansas City Butcher. He was a serial killer, and he had a booth in Westport Flea.
What?
Yeah. And so that's like a weird, creepy thing in Kansas City. And my boss, so I just left my job to do this full time, but my boss at my job that I just left, she actually owns a pair of like wooden carved beetle earrings from Bob Bordella at the Westport Flea Market. And she brought them in to let me like look at them and hold them. And those things had a weight on. I mean, you could feel like the energy on them. And I was like, nope, 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 nope.
Isn't there like an article or information or something like that, like posted like in that area where he was at there at the mall?
I believe so. I believe in that booth. Yeah.
Ew,
Yeah,
the booth is
I
still
have
there?
seen that before.
Is all this stuff still in the booth?
No,
Oh,
it's
no.
empty.
Like, what kind of things was he selling? What
Just
kind of-
like tchotchkes art. Well, and that's what. So when my my boss, she told me first. She was like, I have a pair of earrings made by Bob Bordella, and I was like, please don't tell me they're made of like bones or teeth. Like, don't.
Jan.
But she told me, I guess, like her boyfriend was with her at the time, and he killed young men, and she, like he kept. They would go in there all the time, and he kept asking her boyfriend to come over and like model for him and do stuff for him. And my boss was like, I really just get a weird vibe from that guy. I don't think you should do it. And I was like, you saved his life. Holy hell. Like, he was gonna get shot. That's wild. So crazy.
Oh my
That is
God.
crazy.
I gotta plug my. If I go away, I'll be back. There we go. All right, okay.
Stacy, who brought that up, said her husband's family lived across the street from Bordella.
Oh no.
Oh, spooky.
Oh, there was the Crescent Hotel. No, thank you.
Yes, I've been there.
Mm-mm. See, so you're good with staying in like haunted or?
No, but I'll do it.
Me too. I
here's the
would
thing.
love to go on a trip like that, like stay overnight at like a haunted hotel or something. That would be so neat.
What state are you in, Tina?
I'm in Indiana.
Oh, you're also in Indiana? Okay.
Uh-huh.
We should go to Louisville to go to the sanatorium.
Ooh,
Mm-mm.
that gives me
Waverly Hills.
Ooh,
I would end up probably having to bring some Depends with me, but it would work out really well.
Girl, me too. I'm walking up 3 or 4 flights of stairs and I need some Depends.
It's just part of being a girl. I've realized that, and I'm just rolling with it.
Listen, I have been gone all day. I drove 2 hours to go shopping with Jeffrey, 2 hours there and 2 hours back. I have not had dinner, so I'm eating peanuts. I literally just walked in the door.
There's no shame in that.
Do you know what I saw for the first time this year? Candy corn. It's out. It's starting to hit the shelves. I love
You
it.
need to add it to your peanuts.
Oh my gosh, the guy that was checking me out, he goes, "Did you know if you add peanuts with this?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, everybody with the peanuts and the candy corn." I'm like,
It's the only
Well,
way
you
it's
have to add
tolerable for me.
pretzels and chocolate in there too.
I don't like
Ooh.
chocolate.
I do it with peanuts and then M&Ms and then like popcorn.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I didn't think about the popcorn part.
Yeah, if you mix it in with your popcorn, it's good.
Oh, there's Amy. Can I show Amy's witchy doll? And
Yeah.
I heard I heard Michael got a witchy doll last night.
I sure did.
I have one. I'll show you mine.
Witchy doll.
And if you
What's
guys don't know, Amy's Rock and Pop Shop makes, well, I mean, I guess they're newly made, but using all vintage materials, for example.
Aw,
Oh, and it's got an owl.
that is so cute.
Owls are my favorite. That is so cute.
Amy's Rock and Pop.
Yeah, I haven't taken the hang tags off of my dolls either.
No, I can't.
Mhm.
I gotta leave them on.
Yep. Yeah, my witch has orange lucite deer as her pets.
Cute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have one of those lucite deer. I found it in the bottom of the bins.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it wasn't damaged at the bottom of the
Well,
bin.
it's plastic.
Yeah, but they get brittle.
I mean, yeah, but it was just
Oh.
one of the little ones.
Wait, I'm seeing an interesting candy corn, peanuts, and red hot.
I have heard that's good.
Really?
Hmm.
You've heard
Mhm.
this?
No, I will not be doing that. Thank you so much. I
Now,
don't like cinnamon. I don't like cinnamon flavor.
Okay.
I love cinnamon the spice. I don't like cinnamon flavored things.
yeah, candy corn
saw-
and peanuts. It's a thing, I guess.
Jamie Mid-Century Wasted mentioned about the Queen Mary. I've been on the Queen Mary, and we didn't
Did you?
Oh yeah, we went to LA 3 years ago, and that was one of the places that we wanted to go. We went on the ghost tour, and it's definitely like I when I walked in, I didn't feel any creepy feelings. I was just kind of picking up on the ship in its heyday. Like I could feel like the excitement and the ballroom was just, I could just kind of see it filled with people. I didn't pick up anything negative, but apparently it's very haunted, but it wasn't.
Well, and there's like one main room where there's been like multiple murders in the same room. So
We
that's-
we went to that room and where a lot of the activity comes, and we were like standing around there. And then we like, sometimes you can see with the people that are cleaning the rooms and stuff, and they're really good to ask questions about, and they're really helpful. We've asked questions like, is this the room? And they're like, do you want to peek in? And
if you stay in there, they do, in that haunted room, they do leave you a Ouija board and tarot cards in the room if you want to communicate with the dead.
No.
Are you for real?
Yeah, I love that they full play into it. They're like, here's a Ouija board, do what you will.
No. I can just talk. Hey, what's up? You know, I don't need a Ouija board. Wait.
Have you ever seen that episode? Is it Ghost Adventures or whatever, where he's like, hey, what's up, demons? It's me, your boy. That's Misty and the Queen Mary.
Yeah, it would be. It's like, we don't need a spell.
Just yell.
Yeah, who needs a spell? We'll just yell. Pull my hair, yank my arm back.
Oh my word, Misty!
He's getting kinky with the ghosts.
No, we don't need work. We don't need
It's like a scary movie. You know those.
Yeah.
If you're I'd be like, if you're here, push me over. I mean,
Yeah.
just knock me over. I want to be levitated and thrown into the wall.
Misty,
That would be proof enough for me.
Misty, how long has it been since you went on a date, sweetheart?
What?
I've been married.
I just want a ghost to pull my hair and slam me against a wall. That's all I
Yeah.
need.
That's all I need. That will prove their existence. I mean, I know that they're there because I talk to Mr. Webb every day.
Okay. And here's a great question from Ashlyn. Do you guys have any Halloween traditions?
So many.
I'm giving too much away.
Apparently you are, Misty. I guess we know your Halloween traditions now.
Yeah.
Do you
I
guys
have
do anything special for Halloween?
a lot
When are you guys going to start decorating?
now.
Yeah.
Now?
I mean, as soon as the weather starts, you know how when it's changing from summer to fall, you can kind of like everything just kind of starts smelling different, you know. So here real soon.
That's funny. Jolly Holiday with Mary mentioned goulash and said Midge. I don't know if she knows. I don't know if I've talked about that on the channel before, but I do. I have a very specific Halloween dinner that I make every year that my mom did when I was a kid, and I still do it. We would make goulash, and then we make these breadsticks that look like monster fingers.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Like blood punch and all this stuff. Like, so there's this whole themed dinner that I've done since I was a kid.
Aww.
And then yeah, there's a lot of. I have a very specific. I watch Beetlejuice every year at the so that it ends. Like I have it timed where I started at I think it's 10:32 p.m. and it ends at midnight when it finishes being Halloween is when the credits roll.
I love that.
I love Halloween.
That's fantastic. And you said, and too, I guess just a little bit of history, but Midge, you were saying earlier before we went live, the whole, and I guess now I get with the family with the Nightmare on Elm Street, but you were saying the family so far as kind of the 50s pinup look really came kind of from your parents who are very much into the antiques and the hunting and the picking. And then it just kind of
my parents watch Misty. That's I knew Misty a little bit because my parents watch your channel.
They do. What are their names?
Mike and Sherilyn.
Mike and Sherilyn, you have a fun daughter. You did a good job, and
Yay.
I love that you brought the tradition of the goulash. I love how tradition you start something and then that just kind of overflows into the next generation and the next generation.
Well,
so
the thing is I can't get my family to play. They won't. I'm the only person in my family here, my home, that likes Halloween or does Halloween.
I think it's harder you've got boys. I think it's harder with boys.
My husband doesn't really like Halloween, which is really unfortunate for him.
It's too bad for him, huh?
Yeah.
He really married into it. It's rough.
I think that it's a boy thing. Christmas time, and it's always a tradition that my kids who are adults now, but they're still my babies, and we will always do this. They open up their pajamas on Christmas Eve. We play a game. We decorate Christmas cookies. That's what we do on Christmas Eve. But my son hates it, but my daughter likes it. So
see, we were that level for Halloween. My mom's birthday is the 2 days before Halloween. And so we kind of started, we would have her birthday party, which was usually spooky. And then it would be a celebration through Halloween. And it was Christmas level, if not bigger. I think Halloween actually might have been bigger in my house. And then, my folks, I was brought into my family through adoption. So my parents are almost 70, which for somebody my age is older parents.
Yeah.
And so I was exposed to a lot of cool stuff, and they raised me on good music, and they they're I told Michael before we went live, like they're very much like they think they are the American pickers. Like they are junking, they are thrifting, they
I love
have,
that.
oh, Anne was married on Halloween. I'm so jealous.
Oh, that's awesome.
I am so mad to this day. So my husband and I got married. We've been together for almost 10 years, but we got married 2 years ago in September. And like right after our wedding, I was joking and I was like, I almost like wanted to get married on Halloween, but I knew you wouldn't have gone for that. And he was like, oh yeah, I would have. And I was like, no.
When you renew the vows, when you renew your vows.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. We had a very 60s wedding. It was super fun. We did like a whole mid-century hotel theme. It was super cute. So we're going to do a vow renewal till death do us part and do it up.
Yeah. That would be fun.
That would be really cute.
Do it up.
Oh, goodness. Am I missing questions? I don't think
Cheryl Lynn says that she is psychic. Please do not use a Ouija board or tarot cards. You open up portals.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No problem there. I will use.
No problem there. I can't.
No.
Now, the tarot cards I've not ever opened. They're still in their box.
I do tarot every morning, Cheryl Lynn. I'm sorry.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but you know what you're doing.
Oh,
And we were on the day of fools.
No, Anne.
it happens, Anne. So that was a question we didn't answer earlier, though. Have any of you saw a ghost?
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Tell your story, Mid.
Misty, did you also say yes?
Yeah.
Oh wait, Mr. Wood.
I haven't seen him.
Oh, you don't see him. You just know he's there.
I just know he's there. I've seen a scary lady in the upstairs window of a house as a child. It was my dad's friend's house. And he was going through a divorce, so he was renting out this house. And the landlord said that there was one room that he could never go into. And it was like this guy's mother's room, and it was like not been touched. Like all of her things were still in there. And it was in that window, and we would pull up into that house and she'd be standing there in that window looking down at us.
Mm.
And that house, I remember as a child when my dad would go over there and visit him, he had a couple of sons, and we would sit underneath the pool table while they were outside doing whatever. And we were playing cars, and the pool balls would roll off of the side of the table, roll underneath the table, and stop in a line right in front of us. Like right in front of us.
No.
So one night, the guy said that he couldn't stay there anymore. It was just too many weird things were happening, and he couldn't go back. And he slept on our couch. And that night, the house burnt down to the ground.
Stop.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yep.
Holy heck. That's spooky.
That's some next level stuff there.
Yeah, it is.
What is your story, Midge?
I've had a lot of ooky spookies. I'm very attuned. I guess I don't know. I feel like people look at you weird when you're like, I'm slightly psychic, but like I see auras.
I'm an empath. I mean,
yeah,
but I'm not. I am not psychic.
Yeah, I see auras. I see things a lot, and so, but yeah, and the probably the like craziest one, because I got touched, and that's the only time I've been not touched by an angel, but touched by a ghost. I was in Scotland, and we went on this tour under the streets of Scotland, and we went into this room where, so I guess, which I'm like, how did y'all not? Anyway, they, I guess, built these rooms out under the street to take people like under during kind of plague times, and they were going to burn the waste in the street to help kill germs and bacteria and try to prevent disease. But they put all these people under the street, and so it basically created like a giant stone oven, and all these people like roasted alive under the streets and died. And so we walk into this space, and I feel it in my chest and my stomach, and I'm like kind of like gagging. And I heard kind of like a little voice, and felt a little hand on my like bottom of my skirt just go like and like tug on me and be like, hey. And I would have thought that I had like was just freaking myself out, except that at the exact same time, the person next to me also felt it, and we both went like this, like at the same moment. And she described the exact same, like of somebody tugging on her coat. And that freaked me out. I didn't like see her, but I felt her, and she touched me, and it was weird.
Isn't that right by like Edinburgh Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did one of my spooky stories in the rain like a week or two ago or something like that. And Edinburgh Castle was one of the ones I did.
Yeah, this was probably, like maybe 5 miles south of Edinburgh Castle. It was in Edinburgh, so yeah. It's weird, like how much history other places that aren't America have, like how many more years of things have happened there. You can really like feel it. It's crazy.
Literal thousands of years older.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are you munching on, Michael?
Candy corn, but like the good kind. Rocks.
Here, you want some peanuts, Michael? Here.
I know, right? We have to mix them
Just
together.
reach through the screen. I felt left out.
I was sad. They only had these little bags. They didn't have like the big bags, and they didn't have like the tub with the pumpkins in it.
Oh
yeah.
I really like the pumpkins. I mean, it's the same thing.
I don't like the pumpkins.
What?
I don't either.
I
think they're
I only
chocolate.
like just the traditional candy corn.
I don't like when they do that harvesty mix thing or whatever with the
yes,
brown in there. That just
I
don't
love
taste right. It don't.
Chocolate.
I'm for it.
So, what is like? So okay, so Michael, would you go into like a legit haunted place and like
No.
spend the night?
What if there
No.
was really good vintage stuff inside? What if they were like,
I
you can
don't
have
care.
anything you
Say
find?
that. It's there for a reason. How about that? No.
What if they told
No.
you that if you stayed
No.
if you stayed in this place overnight for one night, Brittany would be free?
I will do it for Brittany.
Wow.
If it was
Heard it here.
something, if it would help somebody else out like that, then I would do it.
You heard it
But
here.
I won't do it. Look, in a
Brittany?
heartbeat.
Brittany's
Yes.
going to be free.
You know, they turned the Lizzie Borden house into a bed and breakfast. You could go stay there.
I would.
I would too. I am
Well,
so up for having the
And I'd
crap
go
scared
sit on
out of
that
me.
couch. Do they let you
closest-
sit on the couch?
Yeah, it's there.
The closest I ever came to something like that, it was, I had to be 2 years old. My parents had just gotten divorced. And we moved out of literally the country into like the city. And my mom had found a house. And whatever, she was going to rent it. And we had moved in, but I guess the people that had lived there before, and it wasn't disclosed until after we moved in, because it was like in the 80s. But the guy had murdered his wife and his 2 children in the basement of the home that we literally just moved into.
They don't have to disclose that.
And they do in Pennsylvania.
Oh, really?
Yeah, murders. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, murders. You know about
I
murders.
guess if somebody just died in the home, that's different than,
No, they were murdered. Like Dude murdered his family in the basement.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
That's as close as I've ever come. But I was little, so I didn't know.
I was gonna say I would not have stayed there, but you were like 2, so you didn't have a choice. I would have been like, no, thank you.
No.
Do you guys believe in the Amityville horror? Do you
I
think
do.
that actually happened, or was it just like a made up thing?
I think it probably happened to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
I watch a lot of stuff on Ed and Lorraine Warren, the actual Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I honestly think that there was something else that was influencing him. But
Well, I think he was
Besides drugs
on
and alcohol.
I think he was on drugs as well, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there was a lot of factors involved there, but yeah.
My current home has orbs in the pictures, and all 3 people have committed suicide.
No, I'd move. I would move. I would just go.
I appreciate your healthy sense of self-preservation, Michael.
No,
I mean, for what?
He's the one in the horror movie that's like, no, thank you, have a nice day. And he's the final girl. He's the only one that's gonna survive.
I'm the one that lives at the end. And I'm like, these bitches, these people did not listen to me. They did not listen to me.
not on my channel tonight.
We're allowed light swearing on YouTube now, right?
Well,
You can do it now. They don't care anymore.
I'm like, they didn't listen to me. Now they're dead.
And now they're dead.
you know what, Michael? Do not. I hope I never get in a situation where my life depended upon it, because all I would see was your ass running away from me, and I would be like,
You just see a little black ball cap bobbing through the grass.
No, look, if it came down to it, brass tags, I'm there for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna go. But otherwise, like, if it's a choice, we're gonna make smart decisions. And smart decisions are, life is already dangerous enough. Let's not do some dumb stuff to make it even more dangerous. Like, oh, hey, that house where all those people got murdered and there's like orbs and lights that go off unexpectedly. No, we're not going to go exploring in there for fun. No, we're not.
He's in the room like, I'm not doing it, Tina. I am not doing it. And I'm going, Tina, you and I will go in. Me, you, and Midge will go in.
And Missy's like, pull my hair, pull my hair.
Here's the thing, though.
The wall.
Here's the thing, though. As a fat woman, I'm not taking no chances because I can't run away.
Come on, made smart decisions.
Between breaking my ankle or peeing myself, it would be a really, really awesome experience.
No, ma'am. Yes.
I have been to
survival skills from horror movies. There you go.
I will say so I actually just finished a book about that. It's kind of an interesting concept. It's called the Final Girls Support Group. It's actually for my Midge's book club this month. But it's like a fun twist scenario where like the final girls from like Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, like all these movies are like the franchises were based on real people. And so it's like about what happens to them after the situation. It was talking about how they all, everywhere they go, they have like exit strategy and go plan. And I was like, I do that. Like literally when I enter a room, I look around, I'm like, okay, what could I use as a weapon if I needed to? Where's the exit? How do I get out of here? Like, it's like, that's on having a panic disorder.
Yeah.
Constantly.
You
like,
know the exit.
How do I get out of here if I need to?
Well, and I used to do that too, when teaching, and you'd have violent intruder drills. and we'd have to get the kids all squatting down underneath their desks. And then it's during those moments where everyone's quiet and all the lights are out and all the blinds are pulled and we've got stuff shoved in front of the doors. And then your mind thinks, what would I use? What would I, like, you're looking around your room. Yep. And, if this was a real event, what would I use? Yeah.
Barnabas.
Yeah.
Smackdown.
Barnabas is coming to life in a whole new way.
Peed panties are a ghost deterrent.
Oh, I left that up there.
Laura's going, take that down, Michael.
It's like garlic.
The world is scary. Yes, Jolly. I mean, why not make it less scary?
But also at the same time, more scary.
But more scary. In a good, fun, have a good time. Right.
Isn't that kind of like fascinating though? Like for people who love Halloween, like there's something really empowering in celebrating the like feeling of being afraid, because you're gonna feel it no matter what. So if you can make fun of it, make like light of it, have fun with it, make it campy, like it takes some of the power out of it, I think, of like the fear that I mean, I used to be very Misty. I used to hate scary movies. Like I was very afraid of everything. And I think like it's almost been like therapy to me to like have these kind of macabre but fun things around me all the time. It's not desensitizing, but like it makes it lighthearted and like
makes it a little bit easier. I just can't stand suspense. And it isn't just like scary movies, it's like any kind of suspenseful movies. I'm just like, oh, there's that Saturday Night Live character that I think it was Kristen, and she cannot keep a secret.
Oh,
me?
Yes.
Was I frozen?
Yeah.
Just for a second, but we got you.
Oh,
what do you guys, Katie? Okay, do you guys have a vintage Halloween grail that you're looking for?
Original Ben Cooper stuff.
You like the original Ben Cooper?
I have these two masks, and they're not Ben Cooper. I don't even know what they are, but they're stamped on the back, made in the USA. And I found them in an antique shop maybe 3 years ago.
I love those day glow colors. Just so good and overly saturated.
And they're definitely old. Like they're very brittle, and I have to like wrap them up really well, or they just will fall apart. But yeah, I love masks. I would love. Do you guys know? Oh, of course, I'm not gonna be able to remember her name now. Jennifer. It'll come to me. Anyway, this woman on Instagram and stuff, she does Halloween trees. I think she has like a deal with Treetopia, but she has Halloween trees all over her house. And one of them is this like freaking huge, like 8-foot purple Christmas tree covered in vintage Ben Cooper masks. I mean, absolutely covered. It is stunning. So cool. I'll find it and send it to the group later.
I wonder how she keeps them from getting damaged.
I have no idea.
Yeah, because I've had a couple old masks myself that were like a Zest promotional thing, like the soap. And they were like the Ben Cooper mask, real brilliant and stuff, but they were, like you said, very brittle. And they already had like some, like tears like in the plastic.
Yeah, mine do too. I like stuff mine with foam and then wrap them in bubble wrap so that they're like kind of bouncy from both sides. But yeah,
you need to get like a shadow box or something and put them in like a shadow box.
That's a good idea.
That's brilliant.
That's a good idea.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Thank you, Tina.
You're welcome.
I have recently found some of my holy grails at the Goodwill outlet.
Ooh.
Some vintage 1950s Bystol Halloween paper
Oh,
I found the cat in the moon, and the big kind of Harlequin jack-o'-lantern with the
Yeah.
arms
Yeah.
playing. And a bunch of like the small witches, and because I had found and he hangs up in my family room. I have one of the old Bystel skeletons, and he's missing an arm and he's missing a leg, but he's still somewhat there. So we still have him hung up.
Gosh, isn't that amazing? Because I remember putting those up, like in the windows as a kid, and the fact that those things are like sought after now, it kills me. That just
Yeah.
kills
they're
me.
literally paper. Like they
Yeah.
probably cost like 25 cents at the time.
Yeah.
And I also see people putting old Halloween trick-or-treat bags, like old ones, and framing them and putting them as art. I think that's a good idea. Michelle brought me one when she was here, and I'm gonna put it in a frame and add it to the sheet music. I've been pulling out my Halloweeny sheet music, so that's all gonna get changed here pretty soon.
I've been seeing a lot of people making memorabilia of, or like, you know, things based on like in the late 80s and early 90s, the like McDonald's trick-or-treat buckets that you would get like a Happy Meal in. I've seen people that have made like purses that look like that. And
I found that's in my video tomorrow too. No, it was in today's video. It was in today's video. The McDonald's, the Boo Pals, those sell for pretty good money.
Yeah,
on eBay.
they're cute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing that Katie's saying that she's looking for HE. I'm writing this down because if Katie's looking for it, then I know it must be good. And I've never heard of this. So I'm writing it down. Katie, I've never heard of these. Have you guys heard of these? The hers?
No. If I look for anything like a vintage Halloween, I always want German. I always Google, like when I do searches or whatever, it's always I want the the old German die cuts and stuff, because I think like they're the ones that have the I don't know, I think they have a kind of creepier vibe to them.
Oh, the Hepcat Orchestra. I do know these, actually, these die cuts, the HE lures. I know them once I've see them. I love the Hepcat Orchestra ones.
Yeah, and somebody posted that on Instagram the other day, but they're outrageous price.
I'm sure. That's designer for Bysel. Yeah.
You can get reproductions on Amazon. I know that that's not the same, but you can get reproductions.
Actually, Creepy Company, they have a continuing deal with Bysel, and they make like current Bysel designs, so you can.
And they have some good apparel too, where they use it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Treetopia. Is that Shadia is saying it's Treetopia? Is that who has?
So she works for Treetopia as like an influencer. So they're Treetopia trees, but it's her designs, like her, and her name's Jennifer something. I can't for the life of me think of her name right now.
Okay. Oh, so the die cuts. Amy's saying that she's seen the die cuts at a monthly market. The cheapest one was $400.
Whoa, no. That's so much.
That's where that Amazon reproduction comes in handy. I'm not above it.
Well, and that's I showed Michael
this. That stuff, but not that much.
I showed Michael this earlier. I got this from Walmart last year, and it was like $10 or something stupid because I love blow molds, but I can't afford blow molds when they come up because they're stupid expensive.
Yeah.
I was so upset that I missed that last year. I looked, and I could not.
I have maybe 10.
Like originals?
Yeah.
See, I have 2 of the ceramic molds, like the ghost with the pumpkin in his hand, and I have a jack-o'-lantern.
I love
those. I have a big ghost that's like, he's like 4 feet tall. He goes in my family room.
That's all.
I don't put my blow molds outside. I put them
That's
in.
fair. If you're anywhere with elements, yeah.
Mine are in my family room, so I can enjoy them. Who cares about my neighbors?
So, okay, Mitch, can we get the skinny then? Do we know are Walmart and Target coming out with anything new this year, like in the vein of vintage Halloween that we can keep an eye out for?
So Target released some of their stuff online like a week ago, or no, 3 days ago, I guess it was. I traveled and now I'm like all jacked in the head. I didn't see anything that looked like they've done a lot more like what I would call like family friendly Halloween the last couple of years. It's very like, it's cute. It's very cute, but it's more cartoony and like whimsical, which I love, but they've done very little in the way of vintagey stuff the last couple of years, which has been a bummer because they used to do stuff that looked more folk arty and like cute. But Walmart, I don't know. Walmart has really like weirdly stepped up their game the last couple of years.
Yeah, they really have.
Yeah. Also, to my ladies in Indiana, I don't remember, but I think you guys have old time pottery. They're only in like 15 states, but I think there's one there. And they do really good. Like here, I've got a witch. Please hold.
I'm going next week. I'm going because it's like 10 minutes from my mom's house in Cincinnati. And I have got some serious plans because I've been seeing people posting stuff from that place.
They do just like very like cool. Like it looks old. Like it looks like
vibe.
It looks like stuff my mom had when I was young, and I love it. I've got like sorry, my paper is very loud. Also Home Goods, always Home Goods. They've always got good stuff too.
I don't have one of those anywhere near me.
They did Home Goods last year did these reproduction I have like
Home Goods, like TJ Maxx Home Goods.
Yeah, they do a lot of really good vintage reproduction stuff. Like these shiny brights are so.
I don't have a Home Goods near me.
Yeah, see, neither do I.
That's wild. I'm surprised. I feel like they're everywhere.
Well, there's an old time pottery in Greenwood.
Yeah, go get thee to Old Time Pottery. They've got lots of cool vintagey stuff. And it's stupid cheap. It's so cheap.
See, the only places that I had would be like Target, Walmart. Now, I love Michael's. Like,
I do too.
I love Michael's because I love being able to go in there and the stuff is almost immediately on sale. And they usually, my favorite thing that they've had like the past 2 or 3 years are like the velvet skulls. I don't know what it is about the velvet skulls, but they just do some, it's like fancy.
Target's getting some this year. And they're orange and black. Like they have an orange one and a black one. And I really like, they've got this more kind of like expressive, like that. They've got kind of like high eyebrows. Like they look kind of like more old school to me.
Okay.
And they're velvet. And so keep an eye, you can look online now at those. That was an item that I saw and I was like, ooh.
So they're like a little more stylized and like they're
yeah, they just look a little more like, I don't know. They look a little more interesting to me than just like a skull. I'm excited about those. They also have a like a kind of a blow mold looking thing that looks like a street lamp, but the top of it is like a big jack-o'-lantern. And that's really, I think that's going to be a really cool like hot ticket piece.
And that one's at Target.
Target, yeah.
Target. Yes, and that's like and I think that's the other thing. I guess it's something that we didn't talk about, but you guys don't forget, like talking about like Michael's, or if you really have to, you can go to Hobby Lobby.
They don't do
Hobby Lobby doesn't have Halloween. They have fall,
but you know what?
But they don't have Halloween.
That's the last nail in the coffin. Bye-bye. So
Bye-bye.
go ahead.
Bye-bye, Hobby Lobby.
Right. Michael's, you can have all my money all day long, okay?
Right.
But like if if you're having a hard time finding things, then you can go out, go to Michael's, look at the stuff if you like to craft and see what, it doesn't inspire different ideas within
I
you.
was
So
actually going to say, like, and a lot of times because the older stuff you can buy was like not necessarily mass produced, like
Right.
homemade stuff, if you can craft, like looks vintage a lot of the time because it's made by you. Like a lot of what I have that like passed down from my grandma, she made it. Like
Yeah.
cheesecloth ghosts and all that. Like
oh my gosh, yes.
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
Vidge, are you doing like DIY?
yes. This year I am. I have a whole craft series that I'm very excited about. And I don't know, I'm thinking about, because I didn't know this, but apparently there's like a whole hobby and craft niche on Twitch, where
Oh,
people like stream live while they craft. And so I'm thinking that might be something I delve into this year since I have the time.
Huh.
Amy girl, are you still here? Twitch. There you go.
Twitch, get on Twitch, stream your crafts, make money because people can give you money while you're doing it.
Stop.
Streams of revenue.
Really?
Diversify. Diversify.
Bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love crafting. I totally forgot about those cheesecloth ghosts. I have not made one of those
Since I was a kid, probably.
years. Yeah, yeah. You know what, Catherine? I am going to try because just like we were saying, I have been able to find some things for Halloween, smaller things that I would be able to put onto a wreath. But truth be told, if I were to make one wreath, it would like exhaust everything that I found at a reasonable price. I could find other stuff, but it would make the wreath so expensive that it doesn't, in my advice, make it feasible for somebody else to then buy it. Because just the cost of materials,
Yeah.
you could be like $200-300 if I really wanted to put my foot into it, which I'd want to, but then it's like, okay guys, this wreath is going to start at $350. It's not, I don't know. So I am thinking about doing smaller things that are going to utilize vintage Halloween and still be affordable for people. I've got my thinking cap on.
Jennifer Perkins. That's her name. Sorry. I just saw it pop up. Jennifer Perkins. That's the girl with the mask tree.
Jennifer Perkins?
Yeah.
Where's it at so I can put her name up? It's Jennifer Perkins, guys. Jennifer Perkins is on Instagram with the trees.
Jennifer.
We have a Home Goods in Scranton. Yeah, but then I gotta drive like 2 hours. And then that's like I risk not being able to get the stuff. People are obsessed with Home Goods. We're living for it.
I like Home Goods and stuff too because it's like it's more of a hunt because you don't know what they're gonna have. Like when you go to a Michael's or whatever, it's always they're gonna all have the same stuff. Like when you go, actually, my favorite piece of decor that I own is a giant headless horseman statue that I got from Home Goods like 2 or 3 years ago. And that was like one of those things I wasn't expecting to find, and when I walked in, I was like, and that's like it's the same feeling of like going thrifting and finding something really cool. Like I do really love that aspect of Marshall's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, that whole thing.
I feel that. Tina, do you change your cabinet of curiosities for Halloween?
No, I think I think it's spooky enough as it is.
She said it's already good to go.
It's good to go. Yeah, it's the best kind of spooky. It's natural. It's the real spooky.
You got that like witch in the woods vibe going. That's what I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apothecary Very, very cool.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't have but just a couple pieces of vintage Halloween, but I just feel so guilty dropping that kind of money on,
Yeah.
stuff like that, when my family needs to eat kind of thing,
Yeah.
So I'm more along the lines when it comes to, I mean, there may be just a few pieces, but most of my stuff is going to be vintage looking
Mm-hmm.
just because it's affordable and it's still giving me the aesthetics that I want.
there
Yeah.
you go.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's important too. Yes. Tina got the real deal, Macabre.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I got spooky going on year round.
Oh, Book B, I have, honey. I have. Don't you worry. He does his research. Yes, and I agree, Betty. And that's me too. I am just that person. Like, I'm so impatient. I'm like, can I get that online?
Well,
I want it.
I just looked at Hollywood what's this page called?
Hollywoods?
Christmas traditions.
Oh.
A lot of that stuff that I want's already sold out.
Yeah, I ran into the same problem.
It goes fast.
It's
I'm a big Joanna Parker stan, and her stuff, it's like once it's there, you gotta be like ready to click or it's gone.
oh, see, you got people lining up for spooky crafts.
Yay! Spooky craft time. I gotta come up with a cool name for it. For my craft series.
Midges.
Creepy crafting.
Make something
Making with Midge. Not that.
Make it with Midge.
Not that either.
Wait a minute. What are we trying to do?
All those
here?
men who have been dropping into my DMs are gonna be like,
That's like a 1-900 number or something, ain't it?
Diaries of a Call Girl with Midge Munster.
Something like that.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh. Crafting with Midge.
yes, I agree. And I'm glad to see that I did see a lot of people saying that they are definitely, it doesn't have to be, like they're not being purist. And I think that that's really important.
I think too, you
Especially
can
for-
find like one or two really good vintage items and build your display around that with
Yeah, I do too.
reproduction. That's the way to go. If you can find something that's like the thing you want, even if if that thing costs you $200 or whatever, and then you can fill it in with little pieces, do that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I tell people with a vintage wardrobe. Buy 2 or 3 really good statement pieces that you love and then fill it in with basics.
Mhm.
Yeah, because a lot of things, like you were saying, you can kind of switch it in and out or make it work with this or make it work with that. So,
Put some moth deterrent in there and
yeah, that works too, as long as it's got the right color scheme.
Yep.
Exactly. One collection leads to another and then another. That's how we all end up here.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good one too. Like the cover art, the coloring on books. That's a great idea, Vintage 5.
That's a really good idea.
What is this? I'm seeing Amazon carries Bicycle Halloween characters.
Yeah.
Yes, of course they're up to our standard. That's the whole point. Is that, like Misty was saying earlier, she got really lucky because she happened to find them at the bins. But otherwise, if you're out like at a vintage antique store, you're going to pay an arm and a leg for those things. So
yeah.
You know who you guys should try to have on here if you do another Halloween episode is Laura from the Halloween Collector. If you guys don't follow her, you would love her. oh my gosh, her collection is stunning, and she leaves a lot of it up in her home year round. Um, it's very, very vintage and very beautiful. It's immaculate.
Oh,
I'm writing it down.
I am too. Yes, the advertising is becoming, oops, there it is. I agree. That is something that's really good to be on the lookout for. But again, you're in that area where it's just so expensive to get some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Apothecary bottles so that you can make your concoctions. There you go. Misty sold a really good book, The Old Sleepy Hollow.
Oh,
No, I didn't sold it. Wait, that book. Yes. I just purchased one of the first editions of Frankenstein.
oh wow.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
I'm keeping it. I'm going to put it in my displays.
I would too. Yeah.
I am really one thing that I'm really wanting to do, and my husband's not going to be happy about it, but I'm wanting to scale down some of all of my holiday stuff and really just kind of keep the ones that I myself really love, and I want to keep them out year round. Have a Christmas area, and then like once it's Christmas time, then those things that are in that particular cabinet or shelf can come out and like sit on the around. But I hate that I just put them away and put them all in the attic, and then they're only seen, So
I think like this past year has taught us all anything. It's like if something brings you joy,
keep it out.
Get it where you can see it. Like do whatever that thing is that makes you happy. Why are you waiting to do it? Like that was
Right.
I decorated for Halloween during the quarantine, and it has been up. It has been up since.
Well,
Yeah.
and you don't necessarily have to have it in the main area of your house if you're worried about like people coming over. You could always have like themed room or something,
Yeah. I don't care if people see it when they come over.
I tell people, even if you put a jack-o'-lantern in a corner somewhere that only you see, it's in your closet when you wake up in the morning, you see that jack-o'-lantern and it brings you happiness. That's all you need. Like,
yeah,
that is the truth.
Find somewhere that, gosh, I'm sure you guys have seen too. There's all these like things that people talk about, like that we get to be adults and we finally have our own spaces to do with whatever we want. And then it's like most houses are boring. Like, why? Like,
Yeah.
we can do literally whatever we want without your stuff that you love looking at. It's your house. Like, at the end of the day, who cares if someone comes over and is like, why do you have Halloween out? You're like, you don't have to live my life, Jeremy. I have to live here. And that makes me happy.
Seriously, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy. Gosh, Jeremy.
No, you know what? And it's funny because, I was talking to Misty and Michelle after Christmas this year, and I was just like, I'm clearing an entire shelf out of my collection, and I'm leaving it as Christmas. And I did. And I tell you, when I look at that shelf, there's like a happiness, a peace. I don't know. It's the colors. It's those little smiling faces. It's just the magic. It's the wonder of
and it's
that.
the memories probably that are attached to it.
Nostalgia too. Nostalgia is so powerful. We underestimate it.
Yes. And
It brings you back to when you were a kid, you didn't have any worries, your parents took care of you, everything was just so magical and wonderful. You still believed in Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and it's just everything's just fuzzy feely. That's why we get so enamored with that stuff.
Yeah,
it's magic.
That's not a Halloween spooky thing, but actually my favorite vintage piece that I own from the question way earlier is that like 4 years ago I found an aluminum pom-pom tree on Facebook Marketplace for $100, and that was a steal. And I've wanted one. I don't know why we didn't have one when I was a kid. I've wanted one since I was like 6 or 7 years old, and that brings me more joy than anything I own. Like, I love it so much.
It's the only one that we use now.
Yeah, us too.
We had one that we put up in here, but for no reason. Why? It's work. I like that one. It doesn't take very long to put up, and it's happy, it's colorful. I don't know. That's I agree with you.
Don't get tangled.
No.
You don't have to.
Bought me some
you don't have to check
beads.
every gold.
I bought me some mercury beads off of Mr. Michael Todd. Some red ones. I think they're red. They're red, right?
You got the red ones, yes.
And I'm gonna put them on my tree.
Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, Tina. And I think especially the holidays, irregardless, obviously today it's all about Halloween. But no matter what holiday it is, there is something that sparks that childlike wonder. And a lot of that does revolve around like the magic or the mystery, as in the case of Halloween, that those memories hold for us. And I don't know. I just think that is exactly what Midge is saying. Is like, you do grow older, and when we're kids, we're thinking, I'm going to make my house however I want it, and then we end up making our house just like everybody else's house because we don't want people to come over and think, oh wow, they're strange. Be strange, and if you can't be strange in your own home, how sad.
Exactly.
Yes.
You want to walk in, you want to feel comfortable, you want to be surrounded by your things, you want it to be a feel good place, your happy place, your place that inspires you.
And I'm sure you all have experienced this, being the people that you are too. Like, you'd be shocked how being comfortable with your weirdness makes so many other people comfortable with theirs.
It does.
And
yeah, it really does.
That's like, I'm so happy that like people find joy seeing me live out like how I want, and then they do it. Like, if we were all doing it, then eventually it's not going to be weird anymore. Eventually we can all just do whatever we want and no one's going to judge anybody. But you have to break out of that mind frame first of like, well, but I don't want, Brenda from church group to come over and see my skeleton lamp. Like,
well, yeah, who cares what Brenda thinks?
Yeah, Brenda.
Who cares?
Brenda's Jeremy's of the world, if you're in the chat.
Cookies. Your flavorless dry cupcakes. Have at it.
Oh, I'm just like, I'm on here on this Christmas traditions, and it's all just sold out.
Everything's sold out on you, honey.
They'll restock a lot of stuff because they do like kind of a wave in like late June. They'll do like a wave of stuff, and then they'll restock in like late August, early September. So
yeah, I'm on a wait list for a few things.
Wait list for anything you want.
Cute stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering though, because I've been on wait list. They never, either they don't restock it or they just lost the name.
Stay weird.
That's right.
I was able to get the Joanna Parker Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein mugs last year. I waitlisted and they emailed me like in September and I got them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's good.
Don't give up hope, Misty.
I'm not going to give up hope. There's cute stuff. Really cute.
Well, ladies, it is 10 o'clock. Is there anything, like, why don't we, Midge, what can we expect from you coming up? Misty, what can we expect from you? Tina, how about you? Anything you want to announce or keep our eyes out for?
Well, it is peak content season for me, so you will be seeing a lot of my face if you subscribe to my channel. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm going to be all over. Like I said, I'm gonna have a DIY series coming up. I am doing a full-blown Creepmas this year, so we are doing spooky vintage Christmas. We are doing. I talked a little bit with Michael about this when I first got on, but I did just get flown out to New Jersey on Saturday to do the opening of Spirit Halloween, and they let me film all that stuff early, so that video is coming out. I've I've got so much. Like I said, I just quit my full-time job and I'm doing this full-time, so I'm gonna be all over your screens. So come on over.
Watching.
Come on over and watch what we got. If you're a spooky lover, there's gonna be plenty of spooky to be had.
Mm-hmm.
We're down for it.
We always are. Misty, anything that we got to keep our eye out for?
Well, tomorrow, 1:00 Eastern, is the Three's Company sale with Michael and myself and Michelle Comfy Cozy. 1:00 on my channel. And then Wednesday at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time, I'm having a live sale with Tiger's Timeless Treasures.
Mm.
Yeah. He's going to be on there with me. We're going to sell some cool things. And that's what I've got coming up right now. I will have to say my content is going to be just a little bit different this month as I prepare to open up my shop. So I will be, I went on a big shopping trip with Jeffrey today. But I'm going to kind of slow my roll down a little bit so I can finish getting prepared. I'm having a pop-up shop September 4th and 5th.
Ooh, she's got people flying all over for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited.
How about you, lady? You got anything we should keep an eye out for, Tina?
No, I'm flying by the seat of my pants most of the time. I just, you know, I'm always thrifting for weird stuff. You know, I'm posting stuff on Etsy is, you know, for sale. So, I mean, YouTube basically it's just thrifting with me videos and haul videos. But then I've thrown a couple odd things in there, you know, like I started doing the spooky stories with the thunderstorms in the background. And then I occasionally like to do the odd video. So I was thinking about having some more guests or something like that on my show.
You should.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the key to your content and it working for you is that you make content that makes you happy.
Yes.
No?
Right. And that's what I've been focusing on because initially when I started, I tried to do what everybody else was doing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't happy.
No.
So now I'm happy. So that's the only thing I think. I mean, and if people see that I'm happy and, you know, they like my content, then that's awesome because, you know, then we're all happy.
That's right.
I mean, I will just say personally, I would love to see a Vision and Vintage Co. video pop up on my subscription feed, Tina. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
Girl. But no, I agree with you. And I think that's just it. I think that at the end of the day, if you do what you love, that's what people are going to gravitate towards. So I'm glad to hear that for you, Tina.
Tina and I are going to go to a haunted house and spend the night. And Michael, we're going to make Michael go to. Michael, did you know that the house that we're staying at in Ohio is haunted?
Bye. I ain't staying no more. Y'all can have fun with it.
The third floor where you're sleeping all by yourself.
Well, that's fine. It can be haunted all at once. I'll still give you the money. Don't you worry. You know I'm a man of my word. Man of my word.
It's not.
Still got the money for my room. Don't you worry about it. I will go ahead with the hotel.
It's not. I'll bring my sage.
Sage. What's Sage going to do against Satan? Nothing.
Satan. Michael, do you have things coming up we need to look out for?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna tomorrow, 1:00 Eastern Standard Time. I will be on Misty's channel with Misty and Michelle. So we will be doing that sale. I'm experiencing a little bit of deja vu right now, so bear with me. Okay, we're out of it.
It was Satan.
It's Satan. Back
we'll
off.
blame him.
Settle yourself. We'll talk later. So yeah, I have that, and then you know what? Interestingly enough, I think that there are a couple of very conceptual ideas that I'm going to be doing that will be in bonus video format. So it won't disrupt the normal Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but you might see a Saturday and Sunday video pop up just to kind of have fun, like explore a different part of me and share a different part of me. Like, you know,
I like it.
I don't just shop for vintage. I don't just resell vintage. There are other things that I do enjoy, and I would like to share those things.
Please
Is
do.
there- and there might be something coming up on Sunday night, but we're not quite sure yet, Michael, right?
Right.
So stay in the know, or not in the know, but stick around. There might be
Follow
something
us.
happening.
Make sure you're following us on YouTube, on Instagram, and I do want to point that out for anybody. Thank you, Katie, for putting everybody's links in the chat. I did see you, girl. You good for it. But Midge and Tina, Instagram, YouTube's, they are both direct link. It's already in the description to the video. So please make sure that if you aren't subscribed on YouTube, that you do subscribe to them. And if you're not subscribed on Insta or following on Instagram, you can hit that link. Because all you have to do is hit follow.
Yep.
And if you're not subscribed to Misty and I, well, I mean, we would appreciate it
We
too.
would. We
Yeah,
absolutely
if you're
would.
here from my page, get your poop in a group and go subscribe to these people.
Yay.
Yeah. But make sure you wash your hands afterwards, right? No
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I
Well,
do want to
we-
just thank you all
Well,
so much for asking me to be a part of this, because like I said, part of my journey right now is, again, what you're talking about, Michael, like falling back to things that make me happy to make, not just what's easy to make content wise. And part of that is retapping into my vintage side and doing that. And so it was really cool to get this. Tina, thank you for thinking of me and reaching out to me. And it was
all Tina.
I know. I was really, really excited to get your email, and yeah, it was really cool to be here with you guys. So thank you for having me.
And I want to go out to visit Midge, and I want her to give me a makeover.
Come on down.
Oh my gosh, that would be dream.
Midge's hair salon is open for business.
Let's go,
She got
Michael.
that sunbeam. She gonna plug you in, girl.
Don't you? Yep.
Yes. Let's go, Michael.
I mean, if you got a wig, girl, we might be able to work it out.
Tina, let's go.
Put you in
We'll go,
full
Tina.
Midge drag.
Where are you at, Mitch?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh,
Not that
Missouri.
far.
Okay.
Smack dab in the middle.
So you say Missouri because I say Missouri.
Not sad for you.
He tried his best.
Missouri.
Not
Where you at,
Missouri. Most of my family says Missouri, but
Oh,
there's an I on the end of that word. So
Missouri. Missouri.
Yep.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah. Yes, meet up at Midge's party.
Come on down.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us here today. Midge, it was such a pleasure to get to know you. It really, truly was. Thank you. And thank you for Tina for being here, but also for facilitating, having Midge on. That is greatly appreciated. Misty, girl, it's always a pleasure.
Love you.
So guys, again, make sure if you're not subscribed, like, comment, do your thing. We would all appreciate it. Thank you everybody for being here tonight. And we hope to see you again sooner rather than later. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you around sometime soon.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Good night,
Bye, guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.